Hello, Louisiana Beer Reviews. We're doing another duo review. This is a revisit of Old Milwaukee, America's beer, except most of America can't get it anymore.
That's a shame. It's a pretty good beer. At least the last time I had it, it was pretty good.
Now, we did a duo review of this a few years ago, I think at the Hot Rod Shop. And when I got a half quart can, 6-pack on the West Bank, and I went over there. This is Best By September 21st, 2020. This is the new can, label design. They had this at Total Wine and More. Wasn't the best price, but I figured it's been a while since I wanted the can in my collection. Here's a can I bought back in 1996. Haven't really changed the label too much.
It's all basically the same. Looks like they changed the font a little bit, the way they present the label.
Yeah, they kind of tweak it every 5-6 years.
Looks like it's got like baseball pinstripe uniform.
Right.
In the background, with silver against white.
4.6% alcohol, regular beer. Here's the Old Milwaukee Ice, which we certainly cannot get in Louisiana.
Never seen that.
Bought this in Ohio. It was 99 cents for the 24-ounce can. If that was that price here, I'd be buying these like every week. Y'all better bring this to us. We get the Old Milwaukee non-alcoholic in some stores. You've probably seen that. We get the regular one, like in some stores.
I've seen light, then they come with
the
a blue
light
label.
Yeah. Elio's had that on sale a couple of years ago, remember?
Yeah, he probably got it at a deal.
Little quick story about Old Milwaukee. It is made in Milwaukee. Secondly, it came out in 1934. Schlitz introduced it. Then it sort of died away. They stopped making it. In 1955, Anheuser-Busch came out with Busch beer, like their budget Budweiser. So then Schlitz decided all of a sudden, let's bring back Old Milwaukee.
And it's been around since then.
Yeah, since then as a cheap alternative to Schlitz, which most people can't get. So it says on the side here, it says Old Milwaukee.
So the last time we got Schlitz.
Brewed by Joseph Schlitz Brewing Company. Okay.
Yeah. Didn't they change the recipe of it?
They had changed it in 2007.
It was kind of a heavier beer. Like, it tasted really good, but after you had a couple of them, you're just like, I'm kind of done with these. Because they were so filling, I found.
Well, Schlitz is not available here right now. They go through periods where they don't make it, and then it comes back, and then they don't make it again. So everybody's out of it right now. I guess it'll come back, but
yeah.
Cheers to you. We can't get this in this parish. The last time I saw it in this parish was quart bottles, glass bottles, about 2002.
This smells like that old beer, that old rice style. You can smell the rice.
And I think they're using corn syrup. I don't think they use rice.
Okay.
They're probably using 6-row barley, rice, Northwest hops, just like
it is sweet.
Basic ingredients.
It's sweet. There's not a whole lot of barley in it either. It's sweet, kind of like you said with the corn syrup, and it's sweet with the rice. You can almost get this rice has got kind of like a slight graininess to it that I seem to detect. I don't know if other people do.
Get it? Dixie beer, Budweiser. They don't really emphasize the ingredients too much on the website. They mostly emphasize things like going fishing, going to a bowling alley,
yeah,
hanging out with friends. They don't, it's kind of a...
Going to Beatico Creek.
You remember those old commercials on TV? It doesn't get any better than this. You see, we're old enough here that we remember when Old Milwaukee was constantly on TV with television commercials.
Right.
Where they would show people camping or some guys fishing.
Hanging out.
There was one filmed in Louisiana.
Song, "Oh, Milwaukee tastes as great as its name."
That one, and they filmed it. They filmed one commercial in Louisiana for Beatico Creek. They were fishing.
Yeah, which is near Madisonville in our North Shore area.
And then after, they said, "Doesn't get any better than this." That was their tagline. Then they, when they got the new ownership, they started getting kind of wacky with it. They were doing the doesn't get any better than this, mountain climbing or skiing, and then all of a sudden the Swedish bikini team would parachute in. Remember that?
I do remember that.
And the guys were like, Wow. And so that went on for a few years with the Swedish bikini team.
Yeah, and then all that kind of died out with the cigarette commercials too.
Yeah, there was protests that it was inappropriate, whatever,
Yeah.
and then the brand died out not long after that. But in the early '90s, 30 years ago, that was kind of like a cool guy thing, hanging out somewhere with a T-shirt saying Swedish bikini team, you know. But it really never focused on the beer itself, because the beer itself is sort of basic.
It's sweet. It comes across as being sweet. A lot sweeter than, say, the Anheuser-Busch adjuncts. Even Miller's, this comes across being sweeter. It's got a light to medium mouthfeel, and because it's got that corn sweetness in it, it's almost like it's like a light creaminess going on with it.
I was trying to find this old. I'm not gonna find it. I got so many old paper materials. I was looking at an old Louisiana State University versus Rice University football ad program from 1977, and it said the Schlitz family. I still have this in color, and it shows Schlitz beer, Old Milwaukee, Schlitz malt liquor, and it might have been one more. But
This isn't bad. I almost wish they would make it with a little bit more barley, because it kind of feels and tastes like it's missing that, which would be an added ingredient to the beer to bring it together. I kind of feel like it's missing a little barley, because the sweetness of the rice and corn is there, but the barley's kind of falling off.
I mean, it's
a basic budget beer, I know.
Yeah, it's not designed to be really where people do videos and talk about all the intricate qualities. It's designed for people to sit by airline.
But you have to admit, it's missing that one little quality about it, which make it a better beer.
I would say so. Now, I mean, my father, he goes like to the extreme. When I first tried this beer in 1996, I told my father on the phone, I said, I tried Old Milwaukee today. He said, oh, Old Milwaukee. I said, yeah, I tried it. He said, that's like horse piss drained through a dirty sock. I said, well, that's going a little overboard, you know. It doesn't taste like horse urine, not that I drink that regularly. And I
dirty sock water.
I don't filter my drinks through dirty socks. But, you know, his attitude is sort of extremist, you know. Anyway, I just thought I'd mention that. It's kind of comical from 24 years ago.
Yeah, your father is kind of comical.
Well, he doesn't like anything but like any kind of extreme flavor. This one has a little bitter bite to it, so he just wouldn't like that.
It's so slight. I mean, I'm barely picking up any kind of a hop.
No, it's a round beer. It's a fishing by the highway, you know, putt golf kind of beer. I mean, it is what it's meant to be. I think I'm going to give it a score.
I'm going to give it a score too. I know where I'm scored at that.
For an everyday drinker, it's got a little wateriness. It's kind of lighter bodied. It's probably on the same level as like Busch, which it's got a little bit more character than Busch. Busch is too low at 4.3. That's just too low. 4.6 is a little better. Schaefer, which is
the Busch, or the Busch Light is the 4.3?
Busch Light is 4.1.
Oh.
There's not much difference between 4.3 and 4.1. It's kind of like in that range. I mean, Schaefer, which we used to get years ago, Busch, Old Milwaukee. I mean,
So
Keystone. We used to get the
Busch Light is actually a lower alcohol than Michelob Ultra, which is marketed to be even lower alcohol than Michelob
lower
Light.
calories, lower carbs. Remember the low carb thing?
Yeah. Hey, I think if you're drinking beer, you're not worried about carbs. It's just no matter what.
Well, they are. They say they are. Well, I think I'm going to give it a B, 86. It's a good beer.
Okay, that's where I was going to give it. I was going to give it a B. I'm going to give it an 85. I think it's mid-range B. I would give it a higher score if it had a little bit more barley malt in it. I think it's kind of missing that. And I don't know with the mouthfeel and the way it goes down, if that would make it a heavier beer or not.
If you want something with more character,
a little bit, yeah, it's a little bit flavor.
if you want something with more character from this line, you got to go with this. But then, of course, we can't get it in Louisiana. But it's too bad because I think if you would have tried this, you would have really liked it.
Yeah.
But we get a lot of ice beers around here anyway. They're
Yeah.
not that much different from
So is that the standard 5 non-alcohol?
Yeah,
It's going
same
to
old
taste like
story.
an ice beer.
Same old story.
Yeah.
But it's a good story. All right. I mean, I think they could expand the line, but they're not going to.
So let's talk a little bit about some other brands that are along the same side. And one of my favorites, which don't even know if it's been a video or not, you can edit it out if you want, is Colt 45. Where does that stand as far as like alcohol?
Well,
Because to me, I'm just asking your opinion. I kind of know these questions already, but I just want to bring it up to the audience if they're interested too. With it being a higher alcohol, but not quite the ice, would you consider that to be just a high alcohol, a higher alcohol regular adjunct, or would you consider it to be like a lesser of an ice beer? Or would you consider it to be like a hybrid between the two?
yeah, it's really. I don't like the question because ice beers are made with a special filtration process where they skim the ice off. So
Okay.
malt liquors is different. They add extra
I
barley.
was just asking taste-wise. Where would you consider that one to be?
It's in the mix.
Okay.
Colt 45 at 5.6. You get a little bit more alcohol action, a little bit more body, a little bit more flavor.
I think that one's got a perfect balance to it between, like I said, the alcohol, the barley malts.
I like it. It doesn't really sell around here. There's a handful of stores that sell it. Same thing with Old Milwaukee and Schaefer. There's just too many cheap brands for this area. They can't all compete. So some of them get run off the market. And what do you have around here now?
Basically, yeah.
Bud Ice. Yeah, Bud Ice. That's when people around here drink cheap beer, they drink Bud Ice or
Bush.
Keystone Light, Bush Light, Bush. You know, that's it.
Well,
Bush is huge. Actually, I talked to
You
Anheuser
could
Busch.
look at the 30 beer, what they call it, a brick market out there,
It's
and
Busch.
that's Bush, that's Keystone Ice, it's Light, the Keystone Light, the Natty Lights, the Natty Ices, and that's about where it's at.
I talked to an Anheuser Busch salesman here, and he said the Busch is crazy. Like they just bring in bricks, like you said, 30 packs, and the next day they come in and they're gone. They just keep bringing them. I don't know why people want to drink 4.3% alcohol. I would call it almost like a light beer, but they just drink it like they're out of their minds. No, I mean you just drive up the highway and watch people fishing. To be out there with that cane pole by the highway with the cars zooming behind them, and they got Busch, you know. They're drinking out the can, of course. They're not drinking in a glass.
Well, at 4.3 in a regular Bush and a 4.2 in a natural light, I would pick a natural light over a Bush.
yeah, it's got a little.
because
I
it's
mean,
got-
natural light is a big player now. It's no joke.
Natural
It's a
light
big
to
one.
me, and
It's a big one.
and I'm gonna step out there. That's the beer that's been missing around here a long time. I think it's relabeled and renamed, and we'll just leave that question mark.
I
out
don't know
there
what
to-
you're talking
as
about,
to
but
what beer I think it really is.
But 40 years ago, that was their flagship light beer.
yeah,
You remember that? And it was in the Michelob shaped
it was
bottle.
in a Michelob shaped bottle.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyway,
Clue.
a B beer, you know, it is what it is. It's good, but not great. We're going to end this review by saying, y'all come on down to southeastern Louisiana. I got this can to put in my collection.
Yep.
That's it.
Drink good budget beers.